Welcome back to Racing Across America on this Thursday morning. Happy to be joined, as we always are on Thursday, by Ron Niccoletti, Gulfstream Park. Good morning, Ron.
Good morning, Seth. How you doing today?
Very good. And for folks who are going to play Gulfstream this afternoon, what's your weather look like?
It is absolutely beautiful down here. We got temperatures right now. It's going to be 75 degrees later on, but sunny blue skies. Main track is fast, turf course firm. Really beautiful day.
Nice. And we will look with envy because we are still in the ice box up here, still trying to bust out of single digits.
Yeah, we're getting that tomorrow, supposedly. For us, 40s or something like that. At least that's what they say. So that's cold for down here, but I'll believe it when I see it.
But we, as I say, we'll look with some envy this afternoon. All right, let's kick things off looking at this afternoon. Then I want to get some opinions. Boy, it was a nice weekend last weekend, and you also have the Hurricane Birdie coming up this Saturday, so we'll touch on all that. But today, let's take a look at race number 5, a maiden claimer, $40,000 to $50,000 tags. These are 3-year-olds. They're going to go 7 furlongs. How'd you see the fit?
Well, I like the 2-horse in here, and that's Excellent Prospect, 12 to 1 on the morning line. This is one of my favorite angles, and it's turning back to 7 furlongs on the main track. Pressed the pace early last time, faded against the same level of competition, but that was going a mile in the 16th on the turf. He's a son of Rock Hard 10, and I love this angle. I think he can score the price. He's facing no world beaters in there. Then I went with the 6 Fastidious Sun and the 5 Just for Fun. But I'm going to try and start the Rainbow 6 off with a little bit of a shot in there with the 12 to 1 morning line horse.
Yeah, and this is a little bit different because it's a turn back, but also turf to dirt. Is that part of your angle, or
yeah,
you just
that's
like the?
It. And it's got to be 7 furlongs. Turning back from a route on the grass to 7 furlongs. A lot of people think these horses will show speed, and they don't. They stalk, and I can't tell you how many long shots I've hit over the years with this angle. Just something I came upon years ago, and I've been following it. And and it has to be the right situation, where you got horses that you're not facing any world beaters that have run good on the main track or anything like that. So just like this little bit of an angle today.
Yeah, I like that. I hadn't seen it parsed out like that, but I'll keep my eyes on that. I like turnbacks. But normally it's a turn back. It's a horse on the dirt who has gone a mile and an eighth or a mile and a 16th and turns back to a sprint. You don't see this kind of an angle, but I like the speciality of the angle. Let me ask you another. Speaking of this, I like turnbacks, but on the turf, again, this is turf to dirt.
Right.
But turf alone, I'm not as confident on turnbacks, horses going long on the turf to a turf sprint. I think turf sprinting is such a specialty that the angle doesn't quite hold up as well.
You're 100% right. I've never had any luck doing that, and it's not one of the things I look at, and every time I try that, it seems it never works out for me, This is just something I think, maybe 15 years ago, who knows, I followed this angle, one time, and it paid like $86. So I started to watch it, and the guy's actually on, I forget which HRTV or TVG, Todd Trupp, whatever one he's on, always says, here's Niccoletti's angle, because he was down here in South Florida with me when it happened. So I've been following it for years. Like I said, it doesn't win all the time, but sometimes it pays very handsomely.
Yeah, I like it. You got a price today, so we will certainly be paying attention, and I'll put that in my back pocket as well. Ninth race this afternoon, optional claimer starter allowance, both at the $25,000 level. And speaking of a turf sprint, they're going 5 on the grass.
Yeah, I like the 2 Mongolian Saturday back on the turf in a perfect spot, I believe. Faced tougher sprinting on the main track, included that third place finish to a really nice horse called Speechify. That was in the grade 3, Mr. Prospect. But you look at this horse's previous turf race at this level and distance was back on November 6th. He produced a dominating, almost 4-length victory in there. So I'm going off that. One of the horses today that I think is going to run well. Actually made it my best bet on the afternoon. I used the 7 Shadow Rock and number 9, dedicated to Bob, who on the bottom of that ticket.
Nice. And let's move out to race number 10 this afternoon. Claimer at the $20,000 level, this time 7.5 on the turf, and of course that's 2 turns.
Yeah, this one I went with the 8 Hard Enough. This one moved to Ralph Nix barn via the claim. Turns back to 7.5 furlongs. Counted traffic problems in the stretch last time. He actually lacked room. He finished 4th. He was beaten. A couple of lengths again similar. Was going a mile in the 16th. So it's a bit of a treble call in there. Got a long shot in there, too, that I put on the ticket, and that's the 3 Alpha Slew. Stretching out today to 7.5 furlongs. This horse, every time I look at it, looks like it can be the controlling speed in the final race. Speed has been better on the turf course in here. And I just think that maybe this horse at 12 to 1 and trained by Kathleen O'Connell, ridden by Eduardo Nunez. And Eduardo Nunez, talking about the sneaky angle, he's one of the best at nursing horses along on the front end, on the turf, so one of those other angles, 12 to 1 in the morning round, but I really do like the 8 hard enough.
All right, like it. We're getting some prices in there, and we'll certainly be rooting for those. Ron, got to go back to last weekend because, boy, what a nice stakes card. I want to touch on a couple of them, and right off the bat, want to go to the highlight of the day, the Don Handicap. I was really interested to see Lee. I thought Protonico was going to be a little bit interesting. That was a little bit of a disappointment. But Lee and Constitution, Lee makes a late run, can't get to Constitution. And I think the guys also at the end, we're going to watch the stretch run here, and at the end of the replay, I think the guys are going to show the head on. And I've said it the past couple of days, it seems to be ignored, but Javier Castellano, a little bit of race riding. He comes out about 4 pats, which I don't know if Lee would have got him, but that didn't help matters at all. And I'm just wondering if there was any discussion after the race down there about that, because clearly, again, if we watch the head on, you'll see Constitution come out about 4 pats. But I think nice performances by both of the top finishers who will be players in the handicap division this year.
My job on Saturday was helping out. I had to get a couple of the losing jockey quotes and everything like that. And the first thing I asked Joe Rosario, I said, did you have trouble in there? And he said, no, he just thought he waited a little bit too long. And I felt the same way that the video showed, that there was some kind of trouble in there. But if you looked at the race earlier, the Hooper, the inside was, I'm not a big inside bias guy, figuring out track biases and everything like that. The inside was fantastic. So Constitution rode the inside, and I don't know if Lee, they would have went around again if he would have stayed along the rail, if Lee would have went by him. He looked like he was, but Constitution, very impressive, and I think he was aided by a little bit of an inside speed bias.
And we are seeing, I think here, are we looking at the Hooper now? Yeah, we're looking at the Hooper at this point. We are seeing, boy, Valid, what a nice horse Valid is. I mean, this guy, and gets it done here in a nice 3-horse photo finish. Grand Shores second, Race Day third. Race Day was the one that was obviously a little bit interesting, coming out of that big buyer win earlier in the meet in the allowance race, optional claim or allowance for Todd Pletcher. And it wasn't a bad finish for a horse that was obviously stepping up in company. So Race Day may be interesting looking forward, moving forward for that one. But again, Valid, boy, what a workhorse of a stakes performer that horse is.
Well, that's what I was talking about. If you look at the horse, Grand Shores on the inside, this horse, not good at a mile. You've watched Paco in the race on Valid. He keeps looking to the outside. He thinks he has the inside horse put away. That's Grand Shores. Grand Shores, a hard-knocking campaigner. This horse was supposed to stop and back up, and he just rode the inside, and he was right there, and Valid wasn't as good as he was, to get that neck victory. Grand Shores would have won it, and that's what I was talking about, the inside speed bias. That's the one that, sort of like, holy mackerel, look at this horse running. This horse was, everybody thought he was going to stop, and he just kept going on.
And again, it was a nice stakes program. Don't have any more video to look at, but we looked at it yesterday, and I just wanted to get a thought from you. The one that, obviously Miss Your Wish was very good. Sandiva was very good. But I wanted to get a thought from you being there live on the grounds. Super Colossal, I thought, was impressive in the comeback.
Yeah, Super Colossal was really nice in the comeback, and he just won that race, by a length and a half. He was bumped at the start a little bit, and he ran pretty good in there. And he's a horse that you have to watch, shipping in from Santa Anita, and I just thought he ran exceptionally well in the Texas Glitter.
Yeah, absolutely. And so again, it was a really nice card. Saturday, this coming Saturday, you have the Hurricane Birdie Grade 3 event, $150,000. Phillies a Mayor 4 and up going 6.5. It's just, field of 7, but I think it's interesting. Centrique, always intriguing for me, for Marty Wolfson. Comes off a couple of allowance optional claiming wins here at Gulfstream. Mary Meadow also comes in with a 2-race win streak. Hasn't been seen since the middle of December. Street Home, Alabama, comes off a nice close-up second-place finish, going a mile last time, so that may be a little bit of a cutback angle. Nice speed from the rail, more than a party. I think it's a fun race. What were your thoughts on the Hurricane Birdie?
Well, I did go with Mary Meadow, stretching out the 6.5 furlongs. You mentioned those 2 victories, one at Gulfstream Park West, and then comes back and wins the Sugar Swirl here on December 13th. Hasn't been around. Mark Hennig is really high on the horse. You got a leading rider, Javier Castellano, in the saddle. I went with Wildcat Lily in second, but you mentioned the one more than a party. This horse is intriguing me just on the inside. Very impressive scores against optional claiming allowance runners, including that recent almost 5-length victory at this 6.5 furlong distance on the inside, playing musical jockeys here. Rajiv Mirage will ride Wildcat Liddy. Paco rode it last time. He stays on the one more than a party. I don't know if that means anything, but...
And as I'm looking at this horse, I agree. This one's intriguing. 3 for 3 at Gulfstream. But it almost looks like this horse, given the numbers in the past 2 races, it looks like the little break at the end of the 3-year-old season, maybe this horse came back as an improved 4-year-old.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the one I keep going back to. You know, I put it on my ticket, but as the day progresses, I might move that one up.
Yeah, interesting. All right, Ron, as always, we appreciate the visit. Good luck this afternoon and over the weekend. We'll talk to you next week.